Imagine a world where revenge isn't just a fleeting emotion, it's the fuel that drives entire armies into war. That's exactly what we're about to witness in House of the Dragon Season 2. Jace Velaryon, a young dragon rider, has been simmering with rage ever since his brother Lucerys' brutal death. But this isn't just about vengeance. This is about a promise. A promise made by King Lucerys, a claim to the Iron Throne, and a kingdom that's on the brink of erupting into chaos. Yet, what if I told you that Jace's quest for revenge might actually trigger events that no one, neither the Blacks nor the Greens, could ever control? And what's more, his rivalry with Aemond is about to escalate in ways that even the most seasoned fans of Game of Thrones won't see coming. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's unfolding next. If you're as passionate about Westeros as we are, take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're just getting started, and with your support, we can dive deeper into the stories that make A Song of Ice and Fire the ultimate saga. Let's uncover what's really coming next. Jace's motivation. Jace Velaryon has been living in the shadow of his family's legacy, always understanding that one day his time would come. But nothing could have prepared him for the death of his brother Lucerys, a blow that shattered not only his heart but also his sense of duty. For Jace, this isn't just about avenging a sibling, it's about reclaiming the honor and destiny of House Targaryen. Promised the Iron Throne by King Viserys himself, Jace now feels that the weight of Westeros is on his shoulders. And when duty collides with personal grief, that's when decisions become dangerous. This mix of personal tragedy and royal ambition sets Jace apart. Think about it. He's not just driven by vengeance. He believes he's been chosen for something greater. Like many before him in the world of Game of Thrones, Jace is ready to sacrifice everything to fulfill a promise made long ago. Imagine being told all your life that greatness awaited you, only to have your family ripped apart before you could claim it. That feeling of loss and responsibility is what fuels him, and in House of the Dragon, we will see that his motivations are anything but simple. But with great ambition comes greater risks. Jace must now navigate a world where every decision could either solidify his path to the Iron Throne or lead to his ruin. The need for revenge might cloud his judgment, just as it did for others in the A Song of Ice and Fire saga. Remember when Robb Stark sought justice for his father's death, only to face betrayal? Jace faces a similar test, and how he handles this will shape the future of the Targaryen dynasty. Rivalry with Aemond. The tension between Jace and Aemond Targaryen is something that's been simmering for years. Born from the rivalry between their mothers, Rhaenyra and Alicent, it was only a matter of time before the sons would carry that feud into the next generation. But now, with Lucerys' death at Aemond's hands, that rivalry has exploded into full-blown hatred. Jace's animosity towards Aemond is no longer just political, it's personal. In House of the Dragon, this animosity will only grow, and the fallout could reshape Westeros as these two heirs are set to collide in a deadly confrontation. It's not hard to imagine why their relationship has deteriorated so drastically. Think about the long history of family feuds in Game of Thrones. From the Starks and Lannisters to the Baratheons and Targaryens, power struggles often begin at home. But Jace and Aemond aren't just playing out a political rivalry. They are fueled by deep-seated resentment that has festered since childhood. And, with his newfound confidence after bonding with the legendary Vhagar, has become more dangerous. Jace, on the other hand, is driven by the ghosts of his past and the promise of revenge, making him equally unpredictable. As their paths converge, it's clear that this isn't just another squabble for the throne. It's a personal battle that could change the course of A Song of Ice and Fire. Jace's thirst for justice will push him to confront Aemond, and that confrontation will likely be one of the most anticipated events in House of the Dragon. The question remains, how far will Jace go to make Aemond pay, and what will be the cost for both of them and their families? Strategic role. Jace Velaryon isn't just driven by revenge, he's also a key player in the strategic game for the Iron Throne. As the son of Rhaenyra Targaryen, he understands the weight of his responsibility. With House of the Dragon unfolding, Jace is tasked with one of the most critical missions, securing the loyalty of the North. In a move that echoes his ancestor, Aegon the Conqueror, he seeks to forge alliances with powerful houses like the Starks. The stakes are high, And Jace knows that gaining the North's support could be the deciding factor in the civil war brewing across Westeros. What's particularly fascinating about Jace's role is how he balances his personal vendetta with his strategic duties. In the Game of Thrones, emotions often lead to disaster, but Jace is learning to channel his rage into tactical moves. His journey north is not just about securing an alliance, it's about proving his leadership in the eyes of both his enemies and allies. He's positioning himself as more than just Rhaenyra's son. He's showing that he can lead armies and make the tough decisions required in a war for survival. The echo of A Song of Ice and Fire is palpable here, where every move counts. As Jace makes his way to Winterfell, the tension builds. It's not just about the political game anymore. His journey could reshape alliances that have stood for centuries. His actions will set the tone for the larger conflict, and his ability to win over the Northern Lords will have ripple effects across the realm. Jace's strategic role is central to the coming storm, and it leaves us wondering how his choices will influence the fate of the Targaryen dynasty. Plan to attack King's Landing. Jace Velaryon's ambitions reach new heights as he prepares for a direct assault on King's Landing. With the advantage of dragons, he sees the opportunity to strike fear into the heart of the Greens and reclaim what he believes is rightfully his family's. His plan isn't just about brute force, it's about leveraging the immense power of dragons, much like his Targaryen ancestors did. He knows that the sight of dragons over Westeros' capital would send a clear message to Otto Hightower and his allies. The Black faction isn't to be underestimated. But while Jace is ready to strike, Otto Hightower is a step ahead. The calculating hand of the king has his own plans in motion, and he's quietly mobilizing a counterattack. Otto has secretly allied with the Triarchy, gathering warships to defend against the anticipated attack. This cat-and-mouse game between Jace and Otto is classic Game of Thrones, where power isn't just about who has the bigger army, but who can outthink their opponent. Jace's youthful ambition could be a double-edged sword here, as Otto's experience in political warfare might just give the Greens the upper hand. The conflict brewing between Jace and Otto is more than just a battle for King's Landing. It's a symbol of the larger war for control over Westeros. As Jace organizes his forces and Otto prepares his defenses, the looming clash will set the stage for a monumental showdown. Both sides know the risks, but neither is willing to back down. The question remains, will Jace's plan to use dragons as a weapon of terror succeed, or will Otto's secret alliances prove to be a deadly countermeasure? Unfolding conflict. As Jace's hunger for revenge continues to grow, so does the tension across Westeros. His drive to avenge his brother Lucerys has now merged with his strategy to conquer King's Landing, and the result is a volatile mix of personal vendetta and tactical warfare. His actions are not just reactions to the past but a catalyst for future conflict. The stakes are high, and the impact of every move he makes reverberates throughout Westeros. This isn't just a power play, it's a defining moment in the battle between the Blacks and Greens. Meanwhile, Otto Hightower, with his deep-rooted cunning, is playing a different game entirely. Otto sees the war not just in terms of battles, but in terms of positioning. His secret negotiations with the Triarchy and his efforts to strengthen the Greens' naval power show that he's thinking several steps ahead. This isn't just a clash of armies, it's a clash of minds. The real question is whether Jace's emotional drive for revenge can outmatch Otto's cold, calculated moves. As we've seen time and again in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, passion alone is never enough to win the Iron Throne. As the pieces on the chessboard move into place, the looming conflict promises to be more than just a military confrontation. It's a battle for the soul of Westeros, where dragons, alliances, and betrayals all come to a head. The tension builds, not just between Jace and Otto, but throughout A Song of Ice and Fire. Every decision made now will shape the future of the realm, and with so much at stake, there's no telling who will emerge victorious. But one thing is certain, the war is far from over. As tides of war rise in Westeros, Jace Velaryon stands at the crossroads of vengeance and duty. His thirst for retribution against Aemond isn't just a personal vendetta, it has the potential to reshape the very fabric of the realm. So, ask yourself, what would you do in his shoes? Would you pursue justice at any cost, even if it means dragging your family and the entire kingdom into chaos? Now, I challenge you to think critically about how power and revenge intertwine in your own life. Are there situations where seeking revenge clouded your judgment? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, this journey is just beginning. Don't forget to subscribe and activate those notifications so you won't miss any of the action. Let's keep exploring the complexities of House of the Dragon together. Your next adventure in Westeros awaits.